Today, we're smashing through the history of one of Marvel's most powerful and complex characters, the Hulk, and the entire gamma-irradiated family he's created in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. From Bruce Banner's tragic origins to the rise of Smart Hulk and the introduction of She-Hulk and his son, this is the definitive journey of Marvel's gamma-powered superfamily. First, Hulk. The saga begins with Dr. Bruce Banner, an aspiring scientist focused on nuclear physics, biochemistry, and gamma radiation. His expertise earned him a spot in Project Gamma Pulse, a secret U.S. Armed Forces experiment led by General Thaddeus "Thunderbolt" Ross, whose true goal was to recreate the super soldier serum. Unknowingly making a bioweapon, Bruce chose to test gamma radiation on his own body. This transformed him into the Incredible Hulk. For 5 years, Bruce lived as a fugitive, researching a cure until he was cornered by the army. His hunter, the power-hungry Emil Blonsky, injected himself with Banner's blood, transforming him into the monstrous Abomination. Their city-shaking clash in Harlem ended with the Hulk securing his place as a reluctant hero. In the Avengers, struggling with his curse, Banner became increasingly frustrated, even trying to commit suicide once, only for the other guy to spit him out. He hid in Kolkata until Natasha Romanoff tracked him down for SHIELD's mission to find the Tesseract. Bruce's fears of hulking out came true during Clint Barton's attack on the helicarrier. It was in the Battle of New York that Bruce began to accept his power, arriving when the Avengers needed him most. With a single, devastating punch, the Hulk pulverized an entire Leviathan. After ragdolling a puny god, he cemented his instrumental role in winning the battle, proving Tony Stark right. We have a Hulk. In Avengers, Age of Ultron, Banner finally caught a brief break living in the Avengers Tower, but it didn't last. Wanda Maximoff soon invaded his mind, causing him to lash out throughout Johannesburg. Her manipulation highlighted the catastrophic risk the Hulk posed, forcing Tony Stark to deploy the specially designed Hulkbuster armor to stop the rampage. Horrified by the danger he represented, Banner went into exile again, piloting a Quinjet into space. In Thor Ragnarok, Banner's Quinjet travels led him to crash land on the planet Skaar, a violent and barbaric world where the constant stress caused him to remain transformed. This allowed a unique look at his alter ego. The Hulk loved Skaar. He was a beloved celebrity, speaking in sentences, delivering comebacks, and developing a childlike personality. Thor realized Banner hadn't surfaced in years. It wasn't until he heard Natasha's voice, triggered by Thor's maneuvering of the Quinjet, that Bruce managed to return, completely unaware of his surroundings. After forming a shaky alliance with Thor to save Asgard's people from Hela, Bruce chose to stay with the Asgardians on the Statesman. Soon after, the ship was intercepted by Thanos, who delivered a crushing defeat to the Hulk, which shattered his confidence and caused Bruce to lose access to his other half, Smart Hulk. After Thanos' snap, Banner went into determined exile and, with the help of Tony Stark, worked on a way to fuse his mind with the Hulk's body. This resulted in the Smart Hulk, who was crucial in Avengers Endgame. He helped the team navigate the quantum realm for the time heist. It was revealed that Bruce has a latent gene that allows him to survive intense gamma radiation, which is why he was able to wield the Nano Gauntlet. In one powerful snap, Hulk reversed the snap, though almost at the cost of his arm. This was the most versatile Hulk, an asset in the final battle who combined his smarts and brawn. Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk. By 2024, Bruce had created the Hulk inhibitor device to maintain his human form. On a road trip with his cousin, Jennifer Walters, a Sakaran ship crash-landed, damaging the inhibitor. As Jennifer dragged his bleeding body, Bruce's gamma-infused blood mixed with hers through an open wound, transforming her into She-Hulk. Bruce discovered that his latent gene extended to Jennifer, allowing her to control the shift almost immediately, without an alter ego. Despite his encouragement, Jennifer had zero interest in being a superhero, preferring her life as a lawyer. Her public transformation, to save a jury from Titania, cost her a job, but she was quickly hired as the head of the Superhuman Law Division at GLK&H. Her new career brought strange cases, including representing a reformed Emil Blonsky, Abomination, litigating against a light elf, and working with Matt Murdock, Daredevil, who she eventually dated. She-Hulk took control of her new life, becoming a beloved figure in both the courtroom and the streets. Skaar, son of Hulk. Jennifer's life found a brief moment of normalcy before Bruce showed up with a massive surprise. His son, Skaar. Bruce revealed that he had become a father on Skaar. Due to time flowing differently on the planet, Skaar was now a full-fledged adolescent with powers matching his father. Skaar represents a massive development in the Hulk family canon. As he was the first Hulk to be born, not made through an experiment or an accident. That wraps up the incredible journey of the Hulk and his family in the Marvel canon. Each character's experience with gamma radiation reveals and challenges different parts of them, cementing the Hulk family as one of Marvel's most fascinating superfamilies. You think the MCU is just one reality? Think again. Beneath the sacred timeline of Earth 616 lurks an army of dead universes, pruned heroes, and dark versions of your favorite characters, and they're all crashing into each other. Earth 616, the MCU. We kicked it off with the first Iron Man in 2008, and from there, it led into the Infinity and Multiverse sagas. You might have heard this universe referred to as Earth 19,999, a name that goes back to an official Marvel handbook. However, in 2023, the Marvel Cinematic Universe officially changed its main timeline name to Earth 616. This name is a direct nod to the comics, where 616 is the prime universe, reflecting the MCU's status as the sacred timeline, a concept central to Loki. The TVA protects this timeline to prevent He Who Remains from having multiversal variants of himself born. A timeline branch, or a new universe, is created by a Nexus event. The time heist in Avengers Endgame was a massive Nexus event, resulting in branches like the one where Loki escaped, Thanos bailing on his own timeline, and, of course, Steve Rogers making his own branch to finally have that dance with Peggy Carter. Honestly, out of all the timeline breaks, his is the one you can't really blame, Earth 10.05. This is the home of Fox's X-Men films. This universe was revealed to be slowly collapsing because its anchor being, Wolverine, died in Logan. According to the TVA, without that stabilizing presence, a universe begins to fade. Thanks to Deadpool and Wolverine's efforts, including destroying the Time Ripper device, the timeline is saved from immediate destruction, though it remains one of the messiest timelines Marvel has ever dealt with, full of soft reboots and alternate possibilities. The Void. Speaking of pruning, ever wonder what that really means? Basically, you get dumped into a sad little wasteland at the end of time called the Void. Everything the TVA gets rid of ends up here. It's a dumping ground for pruned Nexus events and variant timelines. We see past films that got axed or concepts that didn't work here, including Chris Evans's Human Torch and the Elektra from the 2003 Daredevil movie. When the TVA prunes someone, they are not erased from existence, but sent here. This place is controlled by Alioth, a massive storm-like creature that feeds on time and energy itself. This is where Loki meets his other variants, and hiding beyond its clouds lies He Who Remains Citadel, Sony Spider-Man Universe, Earth 688b. Meanwhile, on Sony's side of the multiverse, we get Marvel's take on vampires, gooey aliens, and dark gods. This is the universe that introduces characters like Venom, Carnage, and Riot. Madame Web also showed us the web of life and destiny, a cosmic network of fate tying all spider people together, though its immediate impact on the universe is minimal. The elephant in the room here is that the SSU doesn't really have a Spider-Man, despite hints of his active career. The closest the universe ever got to connecting was when Eddie Brock and Venom briefly went to the MCU's Earth 616, but they were pulled back, leaving only a small piece of the symbiote behind as a future bomb for the MCU. Earth 96,283, the Rayverse. This is probably the most recognizable stuff outside of the mainline MCU movies, the home of the Sam Raimi trilogy. This universe shows us a unique version of Spider-Man. He's older, he's wiser, and he finally has a functioning relationship with Mary Jane. He's also the only one with organic webbing. From the first Spidey with Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin to the iconic Venom and Sandman showdown in Spider-Man 3, this universe paved the way for future connected storylines by proving that comic book stories could succeed on the global stage. Earth 12,703, the Webverse. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was a different time, characterized by incredible swinging scenes, a goofy, quip-heavy Spidey, and his tragic relationship with Gwen Stacy. There were actually plans between Sony and Marvel to connect this universe to the MCU, including a licensed design of the Oscorp Tower to appear in an Avengers film. But these were ultimately scrapped. Like the Rayverse, the Webverse's connection to Earth 616 was solidified through the events of Spider-Man: No Way Home. Earth 828, Fantastic Four, takes us to Earth 828, a universe with a slick, futuristic vibe where technology is light years ahead. Faster-than-light ships aren't even groundbreaking. They're everyday life. The real surprise on this Earth is that the Fantastic Four aren't just the first heroes, they're essentially the only heroes. This world embraces the wonders of space and exploration, serving as a nice aesthetic and tonal palette cleanse from Marvel's usual style. Earth 838. Jumping over to Earth 838, this universe is what happens when the Avengers actually succeed, at least for a while. Introduced in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, it's polished, advanced, and almost utopian. In this timeline, the Avengers are replaced by the Illuminati, a secret group of powerful heroes who make the big calls. The team included Captain Carter, Black Bolt, Captain Marvel, Maria Rambeau, Reed Richards, Professor X, and their Doctor Strange. Here's the twist. Their Strange was executed by his own team after using the Darkhold to defeat Thanos, which corrupted him and turned him into a multiversal threat. His actions sparked an incursion, a doomsday event that causes a collision between realities. The Illuminati judged that as unforgivable and executed him, replacing him with Mordo. While they made the hard call, their arrogance led to their swift demise when Wanda from Earth 616 Dream walked into their world, looking for her children. What if the suit that gave Spider-Man ultimate power also dragged his soul into darkness? Before Venom became the lethal protector, who wore the alien parasite, and what shocking price did they pay for its strength? Peter Parker. Peter Parker was the first human to bond with the alien symbiote after it crash-landed on Earth. Initially, the organism crawled its way onto Peter's body while he was on Battleworld during the Secret Wars storyline, appearing to be a sleek black costume with limitless power. Upon bonding with Peter, the symbiote immediately granted the superhero improved strength, speed, and durability, far beyond his normal capabilities. When confronting criminals, Peter would eventually discover the shocking truth. The Venom symbiote was a sentient creature, hell-bent on permanently bonding with him and consuming his mind. Recognizing the danger, their partnership went dramatically downhill, finally breaking free from the creature by using the massive, overwhelming sonic vibrations of a church bell. Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock, a struggling and disgraced journalist, became the creature's next and most iconic host. His intense anger and profound hatred for Spider-Man created a perfect emotional synergy for the separated symbiote. The bond occurred after Eddie broke into the Life Foundation facility looking for evidence of illegal human experiments. While looking for clues at the lab, he stumbled upon the facility holding the Venom symbiote, and the entity immediately enveloped him. With the symbiote, Eddie gained enhanced speed, incredible strength, near invulnerability, resulting in the pair becoming the lethal protectors of San Francisco. Cletus Cassidy and Carnage. Cletus Cassidy was an incarcerated serial killer whose sheer mental instability and love of chaos made him an ideal host for the symbiote's offspring. Cassidy ingested a small part of the Venom symbiote after viciously biting Eddie Brock's hand during a prison visit. After this encounter, Cassidy discovered the new red offspring of Venom rapidly growing inside him. Upon its violent emergence, the new entity named itself Carnage, with the Carnage symbiote. Cassidy possessed abilities similar to those of Venom, but was far stronger, and possessed the unique, terrifying ability to create sharp, spiked weapons and projectiles from any part of his body. Cassidy and Carnage team up for a catastrophic assault on the city, and Carnage is famously defeated and devoured by Venom after the black symbiote successfully separates the unstable red creature from its host, Flash Thompson. And Agent Venom, Flash Thompson, a decorated military veteran, became the next controlled host of the Venom symbiote after the creature was seized from the villain, Mac Gargan, by the U.S. government. Unlike previous hosts, Flash limited his exposure to the symbiote to strict 48-hour periods to prevent the bond from becoming permanent. This critical key difference stopped the symbiote from completely overtaking Flash's mind. Like all symbiote hosts, he gained super strength, wall crawling, web shooting, and the ability to disguise himself. Flash adopted the codename Agent Venom and used his powers for good, eventually joining powerful superhero teams like the Thunderbolts and the Secret Avengers. Patrick Mulligan and Toxin. Patrick Mulligan was a dedicated NYPD officer who became the host for the Toxin symbiote. Mulligan was implanted with the offspring while attempting to find where Cletus Cassidy had hidden the bodies of his victims. In the movie narrative, he becomes a host for Toxin and is subsequently captured by the government agency known as Imperium. When Imperium's facility is attacked by the alien xenophage, Mulligan displays all the usual enhanced powers exhibited by symbiote hosts. As he is killed not long after displaying his impressive new abilities, Anne Weying and She-Venom. Anne Weying was the ex-fiancée of Eddie Brock and became a temporary host of the Venom symbiote. The entity briefly bonded to her to save her life from a fatal gunshot wound. By bonding with the Venom symbiote, she became the powerful character known as She-Venom. The transformation gave her incredible powers, including superhuman strength, agility, and the unnerving ability to shapeshift parts of her body into long, vicious tendrils. In the movies, she briefly bonded with the Venom symbiote after it temporarily abandoned Eddie. She used her newfound rapport with the alien entity to convince it to help Eddie break out of prison. Carlton Drake and Riot. Carlton Drake was the ambitious and ruthless CEO of the Life Foundation who became the final host of the Riot symbiote, crash-landed with the main entity. In the movie, the Riot symbiote made its way to San Francisco by jumping from body to body until it landed on Drake. The creature enhanced Drake with immense strength, incredible speed, durability, and a highly destructive ability to form massive, blunt weapons from the creature's body mass. Drake and Riot attempted to launch a space probe with the ultimate goal of bringing the rest of the symbiotes to Earth. They were ultimately stopped by Eddie and Venom, who caused a massive explosion that successfully separated and eliminated the Riot symbiote. Karl Mack and Phage. Karl Mack was another mercenary hired to serve as a host for one of the other dangerous Life Foundation symbiotes. He bonded with an offspring of Venom named Phage, sometimes referred to as Phage. The Phage symbiote imbued Karl Mack with enhanced strength, superhuman agility, and the unique ability to generate massive, bladed weapons from his arms for close-quarters combat, and was perpetually clashing with the other symbiotes from the Life Foundation due to its instability. Karl Mack was eventually killed by Venom, a casualty of the escalating madness and instability that plagued the entire Life Foundation group. Runes of Cuff. Call this massive memory wipe spell is the namesake behind the chaos in Spider-Man: No Way Home. Wong explicitly warned Strange that the spell could shake the very fabric of reality, emphasizing how volatile it is. When Peter Parker kept interrupting the casting, the enchantment was corrupted, ripping open cracks in reality and dragging in villains from other universes. Strange had to trap the damaged magic inside the Machina de Cadavus before he could try to fix it. Ironically, despite its reality-collapsing risk, Strange casually mentions using the runes before, not in a life-or-death battle, but at a mystical frat party at Camartage. It proves this is the kind of nuclear-level magic he keeps in his everyday arsenal. Images of Icon. The Images of Icon is Strange's go-to spell for creating magical duplicates of himself to confuse and overwhelm his enemies. Its most notable appearance came during the duel against Thanos on Titan in Avengers: Infinity War, where Strange split into dozens of perfect mirror-like copies to swarm the mad Titan. Each duplicate attacked at once, forming an elaborate trap that managed to restrain Thanos, if only for a moment, until he shattered the illusion with the Power Stone. Unlike usual duplication tricks, the Images of Icon doesn't create fakes. They are all genuine copies of Strange, meaning he can literally summon an army in a second when he needs to completely overwhelm an opponent. Crimson Bands of Cyttorak. The Crimson Bands of Cyttorak are easily one of Strange's coolest spells, because they are more than just magic ropes. These restraints come straight from Cyttorak himself, an ancient demon god worshipped for his unstoppable strength in Marvel lore. When Strange casts this spell, he is literally channeling that raw, destructive power into chains that can hold down almost anyone. We first see the spell in Doctor Strange when he attempts to use it against Caecilius in the New York Sanctum. Later, in Infinity War, Strange pulled them out again during the Titan battle, and you can actually see Thanos, even with the stones, struggling against those mystical restraints. Shields of Seraphim. The Shields of Seraphim are Strange's most reliable and frequently used defensive spell, appearing in many of his biggest battles. These shields come from the Seraphim, celestial beings of light and protection that sorcerers can call upon for defense. Strange first used the glowing golden discs against Caecilius's attacks. They showed their true defensive potential in Infinity War, protecting Iron Man, Spider-Man, and himself as the Ebony Maw's ship crashed on Titan. Their most historical moment, however, was in Endgame, when Thanos rained down missiles from his ship. Every sorcerer on the battlefield summoned them at once, creating a massive, layered protective dome that held back a storm of destruction that would have instantly wiped out the Avengers. Bolts of Balthak. You can't talk about Strange's best attacks without bringing up the Bolts of Balthak. When he faced off against Thanos on Titan, this was the moment Strange stopped playing defense. He unleashed streams of searing orange energy, chaining them through portals to hit the mad Titan from every angle. The overwhelming power comes from its source. Balthak is one of the principalities, ancient mystical beings that sorcerers can call upon for strength. Essentially, the power banks of the universe. Strange isn't creating energy from nowhere. He's channeling Balthak's pure might through his spellwork, giving his attack overwhelming destructive force. Winds of Watu. The Winds of Watum are one of Doctor Strange's most versatile mystical abilities, allowing him to manipulate air currents and create controlled vortexes with immense precision. He typically casts the spell through complex circular hand